Hey Libby, I am going to tape some how to sew up these burp cloths and bibs. So I have my burp cloth here and then the bib, and I know you probably already could tell that I pin them face to face so that this is the back sides. And first thing I'll say is that I really don't care about the stitch. It needs, I mean, it can be kind of even, but I try and do them as quick as I can, and I'm not really worried about how straight the stitch is or anything like that. I have just a normal stitch on here. So there's, you can see it's just this one right here, the plain one that always comes on my machine. And then when I stitch them, I always leave about a 2-inch space at the at each spot, so that way when I flip I won't have to tear when I flip it, and I also don't have too big of a space that if I try and when I close them they won't you won't be able to tell as much. So for the, we'll start with the easy part for the burp cloths. I have, you can kind of see where the tag is, and that's, I already sewed that on there. So there's the back of it. That's kind of, I start at the bottom piece there. So then I'm gonna real quick just put it in, and I kind of just run it along the edge. I'll show you when I'm done with this how fast it is. It takes me about a minute per burp cloth, it's that, and then bibs kind of the same thing. Your machine might be faster than mine. That's the perk of me getting a new machine one day, is that it would be faster. Sometimes how I pinned it, it'll move a little bit, and so you can kind of try and adjust to that, or whatever you want to do that makes it easiest for you. I kind of just try and power through it, because once I start picking them up, it seems like it moves the whole thing. That minky moves a lot. If you want to stick more pins in, you can. If you want to try some and see how it is with how many I put in there, that works too. This is kind of what I call step 3, because my step 1 is piecing them together, and then step 2 is pinning them. And that way, step 3 will kind of would be the stitch. So here's how much I left. Oops, maybe that light works. You can see that, so that hole is just big enough for me to kind of put my fingers in, and when I flip them, I won't have too tight of fingers. And so that's that for the burp cloth. If you kind of, and I can send this home with you too sometime, but it's not super even. I always want to make sure that it's stitched on both sides complete, so that way I don't have a hole somewhere that I missed. But I leave enough room in them so that you can pretty much do an inch around the whole thing, if that makes, that way it's a little safer for you to stitch. And so that's it for the burp cloth. It's the same thing for the bib. The only difference is that my hole is always on how my long side is here. I always start here, and then my hole comes in on the side and not the bottom, because I think that it's easier to hide it there on the side. So then same thing, I'll still go ahead and stitch it, but I won't show you that, and I'll send you another video for what the next step would be that I'll have you do, and then you'll send them back to me like that. You aren't going to flip them, I'm going to flip them, just because it's tedious and I can do it in front of the TV. It's not a big deal. That I think is it for now, so I'll send you another video for step 4.